Hey, hey! What is going on, men? It's your boy Sydney here with you this afternoon. It is a slightly warm Tuesday afternoon inside in Sydney, Australia, but I'm doing alright right now. Now, as many of you may know, I went away on the weekend and I went and saw my family, and that included my dad and my sister and my mum. Now, I wanted to talk particularly about a conversation that I had with my father. And he was saying that a very good friend of his had a son that had worked extremely hard for quite a significant amount of time to get into the Defence Force. Because in the Defence Force, you do need to have a certain level of fitness. And I'm going to actually go over all of that through this video and detail that out for you, what's required. What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. I can see a couple of you in the box. I appreciate you all. And one thing that he said to me, he said that his mate's son had basically said no to the family business that was well established, that was making money. It was a great business, very easy. You know, he knew what he was doing. He wanted to pursue his dream of getting into the army. I really wanted to pursue this. So his son trained hard. He studied. He went up to Sydney. He nailed the tests. He nailed the intelligence test. He was in the top 10% of all of the candidates. He nailed the fitness test. He was in the top 10% of the fitness candidates. He nailed every single test. The fitness test, the intelligence test, the, any test they threw at him, he just killed it. Top 10% of everything. And they even told him he was in the top 10%. But there's only one problem. He wasn't an Indigenous Australian, aka an Aboriginal, and he wasn't female. He was told he would have to wait 6 months before he could attempt to go into the Defence Force again. So you know what he did? Like a resilient man, he copped it on the chin. He kept working hard. He kept training. He kept eating properly. He went up again for the next intake. Didn't get in. They didn't have enough women and Aboriginals. Now, I'm all for Aboriginals and women getting in as long as they meet the same standards as everybody else. Everybody should be treated equally on an equal playing field. I have no problem with that. And that's what I advocate for all the damn time. Now, I'd like to refer to this over here that I've got up, because I actually did a little bit of research on this and I knew about it, but I decided to go back to it because I was thinking about it over the weekend and I really wanted to do a video for you guys. Australian men told not to recruit, Army told not to recruit men as part of a gender war push to have more women soldiers. The Australian Army is turning away male recruits in favour of female cadets. Current list of jobs looking for 50 recruits, 35 positions exclusively available to women. Exclusively. If you're a man, you can't get it no matter how good you are. You could be the best physical and mental candidate they've ever had, and you will not get that job because you do not have a vagina. Aspire to have 25% representation of women by 2025, says Army Chief. Oh, well, all your virtue signaling is great, Army Chief, but if women don't want to go into the Army, then that's not going to help. And by you lowering standards to get more women in, that's not going to help anybody. Here we go. The Australian Army is turning away male recruits in a politically correct, because it's only politically correct to discriminate against men. Remember that, guys. Pushed to increase the number of female cadets, recruiters at the Australian Defence Force have been told they will be relocated. What? Alright. Wow. Okay. Recruiters at the Australian Defence Force have been told they will be relocated if they ignore orders to target women for new jobs. Unbelievable. Of the 50 listed recruiting vacancies, 35 only available for women, as we know. There are no jobs available for men in the infantry as a rifleman or as an artilleryman. But these positions are marked as recruit immediately if a female applies. So basically what they're saying is if a man applies, there's no jobs. But if a female applies, you give her that job right now. Recruit her immediately. This is political correctness gone mad. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I just want to get the best person for the job, one army recruiter told the paper. Well, gee, that sounds like a pretty sensible thing to say. The female recruitment drive comes from top management. Chief of Army Lieutenant General Angus Virtue Signaller Campbell earlier this year said, "We aspire to have 25% representation of women in Army by 2025. Women currently make up 12.7% of the Army." A defense spokesperson says, and this is where I'm calling absolute bullshit, while defense maintains targets to encourage greater participation of women, every candidate must meet the required standards. Oh, well that's actually quite lovely, because that would mean that... sorry guys, sorry. When he said all candidates have to meet the required standards, I thought that men and women would actually have to meet the same standard. But, you know, I was wrong on that. Of course I was. What was I thinking? It'd be stupid to hold women to the same standards as men. I mean, we just can't have that now, can we? Look at this. Navy, 6 push-ups for females, 15 for men. 250% of the female requirement is what men have to do. In the Army, push-ups, 8 for females, 15 for men. So that's almost 200%. Push-up. Oh, here we go, Air Force. Who was it that mentioned before about the RAAF, Royal Australian Air Force, Steeler Cell? Oh, mate, you would have been in for a fun time. Check this out. Push-ups for women, 4. Push-ups for men, 10. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, you'll notice before that they talked about the... I just found another bullshit part in here, but I'm going to read it to you in a second. Infantry as a rifleman or as an artilleryman. Now, I mentioned in the description of this video, and I theorize on what will be, what would have to happen to create actual fairness in the Defence Force. Now, the only time that these feminists are going to turn around and want women to not get pushed so hard in these infantry or rifleman positions is when women start getting massacred in the next war. Just like men have been massacred for eons. Nobody cared about the men, but they will care about the women when it happens. Here we go. Successful candidates are selected based on merits and their capacity to do the work, not on their gender. But I thought that we just said the positions are recruit immediately for female and not for men. So is it that riflemen and infantry positions are available for everyone or just for women? Or is it that successful candidates will be selected based on merit and not on gender? I don't know. I just feel like there's a bit of a disconnect here in the bullshit that they're trying to feed us to make out that they're not actually discriminating against men actively for virtue signaling and feminist appeasing. Where are we next? Okay. So women fitness test. Said women are only have to complete 4 push-ups to pass the Australian Army fitness test, as part of an effort to double the number of female troops. Now, it says the fitness test was created in a bid to increase the number of female recruits. So that's not actually even on the website. That's not even on the website, right? That's a hidden little thing. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they are actually doing that on the sneaky, because they've already done it openly and blatantly for the Air Force. They've already reduced it to 4 for the Air Force, so why not Army, right? Why not to 4 for the Army? Let's continue. Male recruits were reportedly upset the test for women and men and women varied so much. Well, understandably, understandably. And of course, I bet all the women are saying, oh, well, the patriarchy, so this is fair. No, that's not right. That's bullshit. Well, hang on. Let me go back to this for a second. So for the army, 20... No, wait. The initial test consists of just 4 push-ups and 20 sit-ups for the Australian Army. So down from 8 push-ups and 45 sit-ups to 4 push-ups and 20 sit-ups. Unbelievable. So that's almost 400% of the push-ups that men have to do. Sorry, men have to do almost 400% of the push-ups women have to do. Oh, after the 7 weeks of training, they need to complete 8 push-ups and 45 sit-ups. So men need to do it before the 8 weeks of training, 7 weeks of training, and women can just get in, no worries. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Unbelievable. Now here is something else completely bullshit. And God help us if this is true. As part of the push for more female recruits, women needed to promise 2 years, while men needed to give at least 6 years service once they signed up to the infantry or artillery. So women only need to give 1/3 of the military service men do, with significantly lower entry standards, and they get extra positions for them. Fair? No, absolutely not. Actually, you know what? Godbother has just asked if you want me to share my experience, Sydney. I can join you in Google Hangout. Hell yeah, give me a second, man. I'm going to jump into my email here, and I'm going to send you the Hangout link, buddy. Because Godbother has actually been in the military, so he has first-hand experience. I'm just going to see if I can invite you in. Well, I don't know if I can while I'm using OBS, but Godbother, if I can't do this using OBS, I will actually do another quick video straight after this one. So guys, don't actually leave after this video. I am definitely going to come back. I want to make sure that I get Godbother in on this, because I want to share his experience in the military with you to so you can understand how feminist it truly is. Godbother, can you please send me an email to sydneymgtow@gmail.com with your email address for Hangouts, and we'll get this happening very, very shortly. What's going on, Riff Magos? Okay, so as part of the push for more, here we go. Less than 1 in 8 women who try out for a combat position in the military successfully make it. Well, what a fucking surprise. What a damn surprise. Hiya. Well, I don't know. Okay. Here we go. Once you're trying to artificially push beyond that level of 1 in 8, Army artillery candidates being female, you start to negatively impact on your resources, former combat engineer Rod McGarvey told the publication. Well, that's pretty accurate. Now let's go check out the, so Godbother, please chuck me an email so I can send you a link to the next one straight after this. Now, guys, if you're listening to this, once this video is posted, I'm going to actually put a link to the second video that I'm going to be doing with Godbother about his personal experience in the ADF. At the end of the video, you'll be able to click on it, and I'll also put the link in the description below after it's all posted and processed. Now, here we go. We've gone to Defence Jobs Australia. Just bringing that up now. Here we go. About the ADF. Oh, look, women in the ADF, straight away. Equal opportunities. In the ADF, you're promoted and recognised based on your ability, not your gender. Unless we're talking about the fitness test, in which case, that's complete bullshit. Now, let's go back to jobs, shall we? So you notice that there's fair few jobs that have got women representing them, like female pilot, business administration. Oh, hang on. Oh, look at this here. Let me zoom in on this. This particular picture looks very similar. Where have I seen that before? Let's put this side by side, shall we? Let's put this side by side. It's another article for another day. That one just there. Can any of you guys see a resemblance here? I'm just, you know. That's all I'm going to say about that particular picture. But I digress. Here we go. So there's all the job categories for the Defence Force. Let's go to the Army. So find jobs in the Army. About the Army, women in the Army. Oh, let's go to the Navy. About the Navy. Oh, would you look at that? Women in the Navy. Let's check out the Air Force, shall we? About the Air Force. Oh, we've got women in the Air Force also. There we go. Let's go to jobs for all three of these. Ken and Ralph, absolutely twins and doppelgangers all the way. Here we go. So got some Army jobs there. And we've got the aviation. See, it's relatively balanced in terms of the male and female representation here. Males. So 2 females, 4 males, another female, and a couple of males. Yeah, relatively balanced. So I'm not going to critique too much on that. That's fine. If you meet the standards, then that's fair. I'm happy with that. Got another 3 females, 5 females to 1 male, 7 females to 2 males in the Air Force. So I think the Air Force is the most feminist of the all from what I'm seeing. And oh, would you look at that? This guy is working as an air host. So we've got 1 air host, and we've got 1 guy working in the control room. So that's cool. What's the next bit here? So I was actually going to go to women in the Navy and actually go and have a look at women in the Air Force and go look at what they've got to say on all of the different ones. So guys, I don't hate women, it's just this double standard is bullshit. You know, when do you see men in the Army, men in the Navy, men in the Air Force, right, supporting men? Oh no, they can just deal with the increased standards, they can deal with less positions being available because patriarchy. Okay, cool, whatever. Riff Magos, my man, thank you for those $5, bro. I appreciate it. That goes to a very good cause, you know it. So thank you very much, very kind. So we've got women in the Army. Army is a great career choice for women. You can now apply for any role and enjoy an exciting lifestyle in a supportive environment with equal opportunities for advancement. You know, you forgot to say extra opportunities for advancement, and yeah, because it's not really equal opportunities if you're getting lower entry standards and more jobs available to you, is it? It's not really. Let's go to the Navy, shall we? Across every one of our 60 roles, the Navy offers exciting career opportunities for women. We champion gender equality. No, you don't actually champion gender equality at all. You don't champion gender equality in Navy because 6 push-ups to 15 and affirmative action. So no, you don't actually promote gender equality. You don't champion anything equal. You champion virtue signaling and giving special privileges and letting people in with lower entry standards. That's what you champion. Let's go to the Air Force. This will be good. Here we go. Balancing work with family. Fitness requirements are equity and diversity. What affirmative action would be? Hang on, it's only 36 seconds. Let's watch it. Hang on. Better turn this volume up for you guys.
I haven't.
Let me turn this up a little bit here.
I haven't experienced any sexual harassment or
So, guys, could you hear that? Just that little snippet there? Let me know if you can't hear it. And Elias Adamski says, wouldn't it be... so, this is the thing, Elias. You know, they're prioritizing women in frontline combat roles, but the only way that anyone's actually going to turn around and, you know, change anything, the only way that anyone's actually going to, you know, want women to be protected is when they start getting slaughtered in combat. We haven't seen a world war since this affirmative action push happened. So it's going to be insane. Yeah, you know, women are going to be getting slaughtered left, right, and center when a war happens, when they've gone in with lower fitness standards, when, you know, they're getting positions just because they have a vagina, right? Because, you know, men and testosterone versus women and estrogen. You know, women can talk, feminists, right? Not women, feminists can talk about toxic masculinity all you want. But quite often what that toxic masculinity you talk about is our fight or flight mechanism. And that's something you don't have in the same way. That's why you're the protected species when it comes to domestic violence allegations, right? Because people just assume that men will go straight to their fight or flight mechanism, whereas they assume women are at risk, whereas it's not the case.
For the 15 years that I've been in service, I haven't experienced any sexual harassment or any harassment of any form. Even throughout my time at the Defence Force Academy up until now, I've always been treated fairly and justly and equally, and just like I should be treated.
My experience in the Air Force, I have never felt discriminated against. Celeste has always been my partner, so you're never looked at as being different to anyone else. It's just you're in a same-sex couple relationship.
Right, so these women are saying, right, and rightly so, that they've never experienced any discrimination. They haven't been sexually harassed, right? So I'm just going to quickly go over this again, right?
For the 15 years that I've been in service, I haven't experienced any sexual harassment or...
So she's been in service for 15 years and there's been no sexual harassment that she's experienced. And look, yeah, I know she's a bit older now, but she wouldn't have been terrible looking back in the day, and there wouldn't have been a lot of women in the Defence Force. So, you know, you'd think that she'd be approached, right, given what All Feminists is saying, how, you know, men are misogynists and they just want to rape women, right? This rape culture thing? No, that's not right. She's telling you firsthand it doesn't happen. I'll go on.
Or any harassment of any form.
Any harassment of any form. Hasn't experienced that either in 15 years.
Even throughout my time at the Defence Force Academy up until now.
Even through her time at the Defence Force Academy, which is like the university for the Defence Force. No harassment.
I've always been treated fairly and justly and equally, and...
Being treated fairly, justly, and equally. Kind of kills your narrative, hey, feminists.
Just like I should be treated.
Just like she should be treated.
My experience in the Air Force, I have never felt discriminated against.
Another woman never felt discriminated against during her experience in the Air Force.
Celeste has always been my partner, so you're never looked at as being different to anyone else.
So she's Celeste, this girl here, has always been a partner, so she's a lesbian in the Air Force. Never been discriminated against, never been harassed, never been hounded.
It's just you're in a same-sex couple relationship.
Right? So, I mean, everything's fine and dandy, actually, apparently. Fitness requirements.
People out there who don't think that they're fit enough for this job, you really can.
They don't think they're fit enough for the job. Well, they don't think they're fit enough to meet the male requirements, but I'm sure they'll be fit enough to meet the female requirements.
I was not a fit person, I've never been a fit person.
She wasn't a fit person, she's never been a fit person, but she still got in.
I still don't consider myself a fit person, but here there are people to help you through it, and it's fun. You get out of work, depending on what your specialisation is, for a couple of hours a week. come do a PT session. PTIs are awesome, they want you to succeed and they're really supportive. To train for the fitness test, I ran every week because you do have to do the beep test.
Good on
I
her.
ran just long distances, which really helped me.
Just for the record, the beep test in the Army and the Navy and the Air Force is the same requirements. So, you know, it's basically same.
I've seen girls progress. We have training methods that really work, and we work one-on-one with them until we get the goal. So it's really achievable for everybody.
There's great.
So female fitness instructors, supportive, right? I mean, I'm just not feeling like there's a bias against women in the Defence Force that would necessitate the need to drop fitness standards and force women into roles that aren't available to men.
Great facilities to help you get fit. There's a gym on base, there's a huge indoor pool, a running track, physical training instructors who will work with you, set a program out for you, facilitate your workouts. Yeah, and you actually get time during work time to actually go to the gym and work out and do your training. Whether you go to ADFO, Training Defence Force Academy or OTS, you're pretty much.
Right, so they're pretty supported in the fitness side of things, you know, from what I'm seeing. I'm just saying, I'm just calling it as I see it, right? So there's not really any discrimination. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Balancing work with family, like, you know, it's all there, guys. You know, no one's being discriminated against. It's as simple as that. But one other thing I am going to share with you. Let me just bring this up. Is also this. Now this was a while ago, and the Australian Federal Police. So this is outside of the Defence Force. This is our federal forces. You're unique. Identify with us. You're smart. You're agile. You're keen. You're valued. Oh, it's good to know that you know this woman is smart, agile, keen, and valued before you've even met her. We're recruiting. Yes, again, here we go. This is what I'm after. The AFP, Australian Federal Police, needs more women in its ranks. We need a better gender balance, with our ultimate goal being a 50-50 representation of men or women. Gee, I wonder if this social media manager went to university and got indoctrinated by feminist ideology. I'm sure she didn't. This is because we need to be representative of the community we serve. As a result, for this recruitment round, we are unashamedly targeting women. We're looking for smart women, agile women, keen women, women who want to take advantage of the unique opportunities we provide to work both in Australia and overseas, women who want great career opportunities and an exciting future. If this is you, join our Facebook group, check out our website, give us a call or drop us an email. If you like what you see, now's the time to apply. Okay. Folks, we're trying to get to all your questions. If you have any specific to the process, join our recruitment group and ask your questions. Recruitment team's been very busy answering everyone there. Lewis Sargent, this is a female-targeted supplementary recruitment. It's to complement the last recruitment round we had in the last 12 months. There's been a lot of commentary on the fact that we're targeting women with this recruitment. We'd like to clarify a few things. In the AFP, women comprise 22% of the sworn police and 13.5% of protective service officers. Our goal is to increase this proportion to 35% in both streams by 2021. Today's special measure recruitment action is designed to supplement our current recruitment process. We already have a pool of suitable male and female candidates who applied recently. Oh, good. So you've got some suitable male and female candidates. That's perfect. This action we're taking will provide us with additional female candidates. Oh, so you mean the feminists that are working in the recruitment team didn't actually feel happy with the amount of women that applied, so now they're blocking men out to give women more spots that they're not going to give to men. Cool, I get it. It's not going to displace existing recruitment pools. Yes, it will only displace the new recruitment pool. And it will require applicants to meet all the existing gateways. Under section 7D of the Sex Discrimination Act. I'm going to actually search for this in a second. I haven't looked at it, but I'm going to look into it with you guys. Under section 7D of the Sex Discrimination Act, the special measures we're taking to achieve substantive equality between men and women in this organization are legal. So let's go and check out Section 7D of the Sex Discrimination Act, shall we? Where are we? Here we go. Here we go. Section 7D, Sex Discrimination Act. Actually, perfect. Here we go. Section 7 of the Discrimination Act. No, that's... Here we go. Let's find the Australian legislation. Section 7D of the Sex Discrimination Act of Australia. Oh, here we go. Would you look at that? Special measures. Special measures intended to achieve equality. How about that, guys? How do you like those special measures intended to achieve equality? So a person may take special measures for the purpose of achieving substantive equality between men and women, or people who have different sexual orientations, or people who have different gender identities, or people who are of intersex status and people who are not, or people who have different marital or relationship statuses, or women who are pregnant and people who are not pregnant, or women who are potentially pregnant. So they don't even have to prove they're pregnant. They just have to say that they might be pregnant, and people who are not potentially pregnant, or women who are breastfeeding and women who, blah. Anyway. A person does not discriminate against another person under Section 5A, 5B, 5C, 6 and 7, which is discrimination on the ground of sexual orientation, discrimination on the ground of gender identity, discrimination on the ground of intersex status, discrimination on the ground of marital or relationship status, or discrimination on the ground of pregnancy or potential pregnancy, or discrimination on the ground of breastfeeding or the ground of family responsibilities, by taking special measures authorized by subsection 1, which is this one that I just read to you. Yeah. So basically, it's okay to discriminate as long as someone says that it's for a good cause. Right? That's basically what's going on. Now, guys, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tune out of this stream, and I'm going to start a new live stream. Please hang around. I really want you to see this. I'm going to get my buddy God Botherer in. Now, God Botherer is actually one of my regulars on the show. So, he lives up in the sort of north of Sydney. God Botherer, can you please send me an email with your Hangouts email so that I can invite you to the next stream? I will be right back, guys. Please don't go away, and check it out in the next couple of minutes when I come back online. Peace for now, but I'll see you in a moment.